Maybe the weather kind of has delayed him or made him decide not to come.
With me.
Me too. Ready? Let's go ahead and call the December 1st, 2025 Tipton Utility Service Board meeting to order. First item on the agenda are the minutes from the last meeting.
I move they be approved as submitted.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. Any questions, concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carried. Now we'll move to claims.
Make a motion, we pay claims 27,237 through 27,288 for $435,406.84.
Second. Okay, we've got a motion and a second to approve claims as submitted. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carried. I think we're up to you, sir.
All right, thank you. So I sent out the financials for October. Everything's in line as it should be. I think the only thing I would point out is we had been, probably $1 million year over year to the good. And now we're back to about where we were a year ago after all the investments we made on mostly the electrical equipment. So it's still, everything's in good shape there. And I think we're always been ready for a good 2026. Just a few other matters. We do have upcoming safety training on PPE, personal protective equipment, on December 17th. I've got a IMPA board meeting on December 12th, and I'll make a note. I'll get you guys all the schedule for 2026 meetings, and you're always welcome to attend and ride down there with me. Always a good time. Get something out of that. We have installed and have our backwash pump operating at the west plant, so that kind of ties up all the investments out west on the water system, the water tower, backwash pump, and just waiting on more customers. And to that end, we are aware of a new customer, Campbell's Crossing, just to the west of Love's. There's supposed to be a Speedway gas station and convenience store constructed out there. They're going through their county permitting process, but it's public information, and I think everything's all systems go. And had an email from the contractor that they hope to break ground in first quarter of 26. And you might recall that's our water and sewer area, but it's Duke Energy on the electrical on that side of 30. Make a note on your calendar if you would. The annual Christmas luncheon with the city and utility will be Thursday, December 18th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the CW Mount Center. I'll send you a heads up notice, maybe a calendar notice, but just make a note of that. And then we meet here again in 2 weeks on Monday, December 15th.
I will have to call in. I have to go back to Michigan.
Okay, no worries.
You have to.
It's not snowing.
Yes, I have to, yeah. Last year, full year,
That's all.
Very good. Light agenda today.
Yes. That's,
Wow.
now, Mr. Kurt Hare's gonna stand between us and supper, so
I.
no pressure.
Yeah, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, thanks for coming tonight, Kurt.
For sure.
Hey, I want to say this, I think it was a couple years ago, the board recommended, hey, why aren't we working with local people? And not that we were unhappy with our folks we work with down in Carmel, but it's been really nice to work with Kurt and Edward Jones folks. Used to be across the street from me, but not anymore. The empty building over there.
Now you have to drive.
Now you gotta drive. That's right. I brought headlights.
Awesome, thank you.
Well, and I think the feedback I've heard from just different employees
Thank
has
you.
been very positive too. Kurt, for what it's
You know,
worth.
I'll share.
Send me the electronic. That would be even better.
I will.
Kurt, for what it's worth, I've heard very good feedback and positive vibes from enjoy it being close, and you guys do a good
Good.
service. So.
I appreciate that, very much so. So I'll make this short and sweet since we got supper standing between us. You guys might be able to catch the lighting ceremony. I just want to thank you guys again for allowing Edward Jones and myself to manage a plan. It's been a very good experience so far. We've had a couple of hiccups that Jim and I can talk about, but for the most part, the employees have been very receptive. Between my brother and myself, with the local offices, we probably service 90% of them as individual clients anyway. Now that they can come over, and I can actually discuss the plan with us in depth since we're the advisor of economics. So it's been a very good thing. So again, thank you guys for allowing us to have that opportunity to gain that business. Jim already mentioned, I did not walk across the street tonight. So after 100 years of Edward Jones being a one advisor per office location, they finally let us consolidate offices. So my brother and I decided to consolidate our offices, and we've now moved, built on new space, moved down to his space there on Jefferson Street. So that is where I am at, meeting with my clients. So if you guys ever need me, don't go across the street. You won't find me. Let's see. Let's hit some plan highlights here real quick. And then obviously, if you guys have questions, anything I go over doesn't make sense, just please interrupt me. Plan highlights. So right now I'm not in the packet yet. I'm just going to give you a quick one. We are currently right at about 90% participation rate with utility employees. That's a very high participation rate for most retirement plans. Most retirement plans usually run in the 60s. So a testament to the plan, some of the benefits that it offers. A few of the employees that don't participate right now are on the lower wage spectrum. They just don't have the means to be able to kick into it yet. The plan right now has just a shade over 2.7 million in it. Okay, there's quite a bit of participants with over $150,000 in the retirement account.
That's really good.
There's a few over 3. So that's some good savers. We'll just jump in real quick to the packet. The first page I'd like for you guys to roll to is page 4. This is just the summary and benchmarking. So you guys can take some quick notes here on this. A couple things I'll highlight here. Top line is that 2.7 million in plan assets. Those are employee and employer utility board contributions. If you just did a mean balance for everyone, we're pushing almost 6 figures from a mean. Now, obviously, further back in the packet, you'll see there's quite a bit of discrepancy and skewing towards the older participants versus the newer ones, or the younger ones. The deferral rate in the middle section and under participant engagement, the average deferral rate in our plan is almost 8%. It's a good deferral rate. I know I have a couple of other retirement plans, and we're lucky to be pushing 4.
What's the limit?
The limit, there is no participation percentage. It'll be a dollar amount.
Oh.
So it's same as 401k. So if you're under 50, $23,500 a year. If you're over 50, there's some brackets in there with some catch-ups, but you're $31,000.
Our match went from 3 to 4, didn't it? Is that
Correct.
right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
4 to 5.
4 to 5, okay.
4 to 5. So that has sparked also employees to increase if they can with that increased matching percentage. So they put in 4, you put in 4. They put in 5, we put in 5. So that helps.
Mhm.
That helps. The last line on that page there is the participant 1-year rate of return average. Okay, we're almost at 14% for the year. I just had somebody in my office literally before I came who's an employee, is closer on the age band to retirement than starting, and his 1 year was at 1329. Okay, so even a lower risk participant has still averaged a pretty good rate of return. His 2-year rate of return has been a little over 12.4. So,
What's the?
good returns.
John Hancock block up above,
Yes, sir.
2735, what is that? Is that just sort of an average or?
That's the average of what John Hancock administers in 457 plans. Okay, so John Hancock block right there is all 457 plans held with John Hancock.
Okay,
So their average plan size in there is 2.7,
and their participation rate's only the 74%.
74%.
And you said we're like at 90.
You're at 90. We show 100 because not every employee is enrolled, but is eligible. So our numbers show 100% enrollment because even the non-enrolled participants, we don't enroll them in the system to count.
Okay.
So we show 100% participation rate.
Thank you.
But if you actually split that out, Mark, it'd be right at about 90.
Okay.
And then the industry peers, you see over here on the far right-hand side. So if you compare yourself to other 457 plans, governmental plans, we're higher on plan assets and we're higher on deferral rates. So kudos to the plan
The plan and the employees.
and employees, absolutely. Next one I'll highlight here for you is page 6. Flip it up. We're going to look at the top box on the left-hand side, the participation and deferrals. So what I want to say is, this is a big deal on employees. They've actually increased their deferral percentages as a whole. Okay. When I did enrollments with employees, we talked a lot about setting up a automatic increase every year, which is something they didn't do before.
Mhm.
So, hey, every year you guys get a raise, have an automatic increase of 1% or 2%. You'll never miss it. You'll never see it gone.
Mhm.
And that has really sparked more participation and higher increase in that. Next section I'll flip to here. Again, I'm hitting highlights. Page 8. So you can see on the right-hand side, we have the average balances. This is where I pulled that means number, okay? But if you actually go down to the bottom section, you can see age bands. So obviously, your 50s and 60s plus, they're gonna have the bulk of the assets, to where you're, younger than 30s and your 30s are gonna have a small amount. They just haven't had time. So as employees tend to retire and move on, plan assets may fall, but then will naturally rebuild themselves back in. Plan's a little top heavy with age of participants. Okay. Next page will be page 9. This is just a summary of how employees defer money. So one thing that we did not have when you had previous plan sponsor, we didn't have Roth deferrals. We now have Roth deferrals for employees, and they're being utilized. So in that bottom section, you can see there the average post-tax deferral rate across the board is about 6.1%. People are taking advantage of that. Just for a reminder on a Roth is going to be after-tax monies that you put in. It's already in their pocket. They're going to defer it into the plan, grow tax deferred for them. And when they go to retire and pull that money out, all of it, including the earnings, comes out tax-free. So quite a few of the younger, as you see here, my 50 to 59 band and my under 30s, and then my 40 to 49 band are using it the most.
How's that work with our match? So,
Your match goes pre-tax.
okay. And then, so their match would be, what would be the Roth piece?
Correct.
Okay.
Their contribution is the Roth piece. Your match is pre-tax. Okay, so let's just take, for example, somebody starts off brand new, does a 6% deferral into a 5% deferral into Roth. Theirs is going to be, their side of their money is going to be tax-free. The employer side is going to be taxable to them when they retire. Okay. Highlight. Let's go to page 14. Page 14 is just you can see what contract assets have done over the last couple of years. We started in 22. Edward Jones started in 22 with John Hancock. So you see in 24, where plan assets were 25 plan assets there. Now, you may start to question, why did we only go from 2.5 to 2.7? We had a fairly large retiree that pulled out a fairly large dollar amount out of the plan. Okay, so that obviously comes out of plan assets. Okay, next page, page 15. Give you a little bit of a contribution summary. You can see what employees are contributing pre-tax, post-tax. So far year to date in 2025, our employees, or your employees, have saved about $166,000. Pretty good number. Okay. The utilities has matched them about $79,000. And about $245,000 go into the plan this past year. So kudos to the employees and kudos to the board to have that matched. Next page we'll go to is 16, which is literally the next page. But that will give you a little bit of proof to where you can compare that to 14. You can see on the right-hand side, you had 2 employees that were terminated or were already inactive in the plan that finally taken their money out of the plan. And then you had that large retirement. So those monies exit the plan. 2 more highlights. Page 18. What everybody loves to talk about, cost. Okay, page 18 is cost. So the total cost of this plan is 0.81% a year, 81 basis points. That is very competitive. When we priced it out, when we first moved it, Jim, you'd have to help me remind me, but so I want to say we beat that by almost 50 basis points, which is 0.5%. Okay.
Yep.
So what that means is more dollars that the employees are putting in are staying in their pocket. They're not going to cover plan costs. All right.
My previous life, anytime you got below 1%, it was very competitive. And
Yep.
we're almost 20% below that.
20 basis
Yep.
points below. Yeah. It's a very competitive price plan. Now, what my service is to this plan is on every 3-year basis, unless you guys direct me otherwise, is to actively shop it, just to make sure you're competitive. Okay, I'll come back and say, this is what the marketplace is going for, this is what our plan looks like, and go from there. So next year in 26, I'll go through that exercise with you guys to make sure you guys are still accurately priced in the marketplace. Okay, so how that 81 basis points is broken down, if you have your underlying fund costs. So every mutual fund that you ever invest in, no matter where it's at, has to pay the managers. So that 11 basis points is there. And then John Hancock services, their enrollment services, their tax services, their website, everything of that nature for them to administer the plan, about 23 basis points. Okay. And then the last 47 basis points is its third-party services. Edward Jones is taking 0.25, 25 basis points of that plan. That's the cost of hiring me. The rest of that cost is to hire Wilshire, which is your fiduciary service around your investments, your 321 plan. Okay, and we put a fiduciary plan on there for you guys, so you guys are not at a liability level when it comes to offering the investment decisions. Okay, so those are there. They scrub those and make sure those are accurate and appropriate for your employees. So there's your total cost in that plan, 0.81% a year. Last highlight, I promise, page 25. 25 and 26. Okay, we got back into the actual investments. I will not bore you with going through each actual investment, but if you look on page 26, your top line on page 26 is your 2030 index fund. Okay, that is a target date fund. That means that employee should be turning 65 somewhere around 2030. Okay, so you can see right now 41% of the total assets in that plan 41% of total assets in the plan fall in that age band. Then if you obviously you go backwards a page, you can see your 50s and 60s is almost all in that 20 for the age band. So you see what's going to happen coming up. We're going to have people age out, retire out,
Mhm.
and backfill. Okay, so that's where the majority of your guys' assets are at right now. That 2030 fund, just for a heads up on that, that's about a 50% allocation of stocks bonds. Fairly conservative. So it's not for somebody that's trying to set the world on fire, but it's for somebody that wants to still have some participation in the market, but not be overly exposed to the downsides.
And when they retire, they don't have to take their money out of this account.
They do not have to. They do not have to. So one other thing I did not mention. Currently, in the plan, Mark, to your point, there are 31 total participants. It's not in your packet. There's 31 total participants that are enrolled in the plan. 28 are active. Okay, active meaning they're contributing. There's 3 employees that are either have left or not. I think all 3 have left.
There's one still with us.
One's still with
Not
us,
active.
but not active. So 2 have left utilities and 1 is just not contributing. So very, very much so, Mark, to your point. They do not have to ever exit the plan if they don't want to. We don't have a provision in there that says if you have balances under X dollar amount, you have to exit the plan. We allow those people to stay inside the plan.
So if I retire and take my money out, my expenses probably are gonna be higher than what they are for our 457 plan.
Typically, yes. But usually you're gonna be hiring an advisor at that point in time. Personalized service to what you want to do as an individual.
Now, are there any funds that these guys can't invest in, or
If you go back in the back, if you get to the right page, there are Let me go back on the page for you.
really page 29 has a whole bunch of that stuff on it? But
It's been a while since I looked. I don't recall any like crypto investment
No, that's,
options.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do, so with that fiduciary 321 service with Wilshire, the way I tell clients in my office is you can't do anything there that you can hang yourself with. You can't buy crypto. You're not gonna be able to buy the latest, newest biopharmaceutical marijuana stuff. It's just not, you're not being a fiduciary if you offer those types of investments to employees. So there are things that are not allowed inside of there.
is there stuff that we should allow that we're not allowing?
No, because right now, in my opinion, no. The 14 funds that we have selected cover a broad range.
Okay.
So the majority of the range of investments that we have offered are through target date. Okay, which are an actively managed portfolio for the employee based on their age. And then externally of those target date funds, we do offer some individual mutual fund investments to complement that.
I can't
In the
recall.
packet,
Do we have any international flavors?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
very much so. Very much so. And target date funds, that'll be appropriate for age band. So it does have some international flavor.
How often are your funds reviewed, swapped out if needed?
Well, Wilshire's doing that on a monthly basis.
Gotcha, okay.
I think that's the concern that I have, is somebody looking at that, because we're not.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct,
And that's what we're looking at you for.
correct. So your fiduciary service through Wilshire that we're paying for is doing the fund management for us.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a great question. Sorry I didn't answer it the first time.
We're good.
Are they allowed to take a loan on their
They are not.
I
retirement?
think so.
They are not. So that is one provision in the plan that is not allowed. They can do a hardship withdrawal. So bankruptcy, medical debt, unemployment, medical debt, foreclosure, they do have access to do those hardship.
To just
distributions.
withdraw, but not to loan on.
Correct. So we do not offer a loan. And that was by design from the previous plan. The previous plan didn't allow it. We just kept the same provisions in the previous plan moving forward. One update on the plan that I'll bring you guys to your attention. Starting, Jim and I have talked about this. With the move, I've kind of slowed down on getting this implemented. When we first had the plan, we have a third-party administrator that does all of our distributions, takes care of any of the regulatory stuff that we need to take care of. That's part of that third-party services there. The firm that we hired got gobbled up by a large corporate firm. And the large corporate firm has been very difficult to work with. So what we're going to potentially be doing is moving that third-party administrator back to a local firm. Okay, that does not change costs. So in that 23 basis points that you pay for John Hancock's service fees inside of there, they have 5 basis points already allocated to a TPA. So there's no additional cost to doing this. But the service level that we're getting from the national provider through, Lori, to your point, a distribution request has been very painful. We're Tipton and they don't want to deal with us. Jim can attest to that.
Yeah.
So we're working on that process. I just need to bring over some paperwork to notify the previous and to move the plane over.
When we say local, would be Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
You don't have big enough balance.
Correct.
I'm very excited,
It's,
even though it's nice.
it's got a lot of rules and follow-ups, and it's just difficult. I'm sure they do a good job, but getting to that point is not what Kurt and I need to.
It's been challenging. In that TPA world that has been gobbled up by bigger firms. It's pretty normal.
They're not done.
They're not done. They're not done. So that's all I had to provide tonight. Hopefully you guys learned a couple of things.
How would you characterize the employees? You work with them, not just with 450. Are they active, or they put their stuff in and they let it run? I'm not aware of people jumping around and trying to time the market.
No.
Yeah.
No. So for the most part, I would say a vast majority of plan participants don't meet with me regularly about this point. Make their contributions. It's in a target date fund that's allocated appropriate for risk for them. Move on down the road. If they have questions, they'll come see me. I do have a portion of them, as does my brother, that are already individual clients also, that we will touch it. But typically, we're not rebalancing this inside of the plan for the most part.
And they can do self-guided?
They
Yeah,
can do self-guided
online or easy?
with the investment allocations that are provided to them.
Yeah,
There's no self-directed account to where they can go buy Apple stock.
okay.
They can make the changes on their own, but it's within the parameters
Yeah.
that
Still that.
we've provided to them.
Okay.
We don't have self-directed brokerage.
You don't feel the need to
No.
have an employee meeting to say, hey, this.
Yeah, oh yes, 100%. So I would like to, we try to do that in the beginning of the year.
Okay,
I've done that before in the beginning of the year,
okay.
just as an update for them. More as an encouragement to increase their contributions. And then if they need to talk individually to me, make an appointment with me, we'll go from there. So, but yes, that'll be on my calendar to Jim, is to get in front of everybody at some point in time.
It'd be kind of cool to have a testimonial or something of sorts of either an existing employee or somebody to kind of explain how it can be life-changing when you turn 60 or 65.
Somebody that's retired recently.
Yeah.
We hit the youngsters pretty hard in the last couple of years. I think that's helped with the participation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Roth option really helped with participation. It really honestly did. For them to say that money tax-free rather than build that 30-year tax bomb that they're going to have when they're 60 years old. That Roth option has really increased. You understand that one?
And today the bomb's here, and we don't know.
We don't know what tomorrow's bomb looks like. So, guys, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
the opportunity for us to help and serve.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yep, big help.
Welcome.
Feels much better, this being local. Nothing against the firm that was used in the past, but it feels much better being local and we have a much better handle on things.
Absolutely.
So
If you guys
Appreciate
ever have
that.
questions, pick up the phone, call me. Gladly answer anything you have.
Great.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay.
Any
Better
other
go home and
questions,
get your
comments from the board?
I move we adjourn. Second.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
Right on. Hey,
Right on time.
Jim said get us out here by 5. I did my best.